The Defender of NUMBANI is now the Scourge of Overwatch 2. After her Season 6 buffs, you've likely seen an Orisa at some point in every match. She's viewed as one of the most boring tanks to play as or against, so I played her for 20 hours over 5 days and even brought on a professional coach to see for myself. Day 1.
We're gonna see some positive, exciting Orisa game. Jesus.
So far, we've spent 20 hours on D.Va, Doomfist, and Junker Queen over the last 3 weeks. Starting at a very average Gold 1 on D.Va, we got all the way to Platinum 1 with Junker Queen. While I don't want this series to be hyper-focused on rank, it's vital to know the general range of my skill progression as I learn more heroes. Most people don't realize that game sense is not an isolated skill. The more heroes that you learn, the better you play with or against them, compounding on each other. Orisa would be my first traditional tank. While she doesn't have a barrier, she can quickly become the barrier herself. Playing against many Orisas across my time on Doomfist and Junker Queen, I knew her main strength was denying space. So that's exactly what I did, putting enemy tanks in timeout to the point that some even gave up. She starts beaming me. No pun intended. Zarya's stuck in a room. Alone in a room. Naname! Naname! Please! Let's go! My dude, Hardlock's the most boring tank in the game. SMA. Someone's mad about that, Orisa. If I had to pick a lesson from day 1, it would be Orisa's cooldowns aren't meant just to get elimination. I'm better! Get the f off, Ryan! Instead, use them to not allow the enemy tank to play the game. That's how you fight a Zarya. You don't fight her.
I know staggering yourself.
Embrace the enemy tank calling you boring. Your whole goal is to make the game miserable for them. Oh, chat, he gave up. And remember how I said we picked up Orisa at Plat 1? Yeah, I'd say day 1 went pretty well. Oh, I know how to counter it. Okay, everyone stick near me. I have my ult. The instant he blades in, I'm gonna get him. He's coming for you. Come towards me. Got him. Junk's gonna come flying in. I'm gonna boot him back. Oh, what the f? No, you don't. Day 2. Many of you are probably shocked, as was I. Turns out the season was miserable for tanks to the point that no one wanted to play it. And with the new 50 win requirement for top 500, we squeaked in being Diamond 5. While I wasn't a true top 500 tank, it ignited a fire in me to attempt to maintain it throughout my week on Orisa. Going into day 2, my cooldown usage was my biggest weakness. I would use them all at once and find myself missing out on the tankiness that Orisa offers. Orisa, it's just like, I have no other Oh my god, she got grasp and rest! What am I supposed to do? On top of that, her greatest weakness is getting solo kills, leading to a reliance on teammates to help bring enemies down. We really got to kill this Reaper DPS. The Widow's not even really an issue other than they're on a Dancer. This Reaper's just perma-living. Oh my god. But hey, we're in Diamond. My teammates have to be better than the golds I had on D.Va, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get over there. Oh, I don't know about that one, Captain. I don't know about that one, Captain. He's just hard staring. Oh yeah, let's.
Don't know what just happened.
Yeah, 0 seconds, right? If I get a good blade, I kill like most of them. They can't touch. The game is over. We win. Like, how better?
What, the chances of getting a 5 kill on a dry blade with only a mercy pocket and no other help is very slim, correct?
Oh no, my chances were actually high.
Well, even with the circus, which had been my teammates,
Now that you aren't having your script.
I got blessed randomly running into one of my buddies from Apex Legends. What the f? What did the shit? I just looked at your profile. I was like, wonder what rank he is if he wants to play. I just joined up with my friend. What? Afterwards, I invited him to duo, and we ended up bowling lobbies for the rest of the night. This character's fun, man.
Why is it curious?
She's not behind. I'm gonna give Genji the javelin. Honestly, we could window here. Window. Blow up ball with it. Nice! I am the commander now. One of them is the main priority. Going. I'll do it myself. Get off my team! Nah, I have to dip this run. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I should have gone for Mercy. Okay, I got her. I got her. No, she's so low. I even got back into top 500 with a 5-0 card. We would also knock out another 5-1 card to end the day at my new peak, 444. What percentage do we get though? 444. All right, we're fucking moving now. If I had to pick a lesson from day 2, it would be plan your cooldowns around the enemy and don't use them blindly. For example, when I go against Doomfist, I save my spin to stop his slam, javelin anytime he blocks, and fortify anytime he goes for a punch on me. This will keep you from spamming abilities and finding yourself defenseless. Day 3. So far, I had maintained top 500 for 2 days in a row on Orisa, and it was time to bring on a professional coach. For the coach, I brought on Dakad, a 6-year main tank veteran who had won contenders with 3rd Impact and even trialed for an Overwatch League team. If I had to summarize my coaching session with him, the 3 main points would be positioning, getting more value out of my javelins, and being more patient with my cooldowns overall. For positioning, he wanted me to remember Orisa's lack of mobility. On defense, always try to start out on high ground, as dropping to low ground is easier than retaking the high ground. And on offense, looking to use your cooldowns to force the enemy off of these power positions. Especially with her lack of barrier against poke heroes like Ashe and Hanzo, it's important to fight them off of high ground instead of forcing your team to fight below them, which is what they want. As for javelins, he wanted me to be more thoughtful. Instead of spamming them, only using them when I knew I could guarantee a kill or cancel an ability. I took this one to heart, looking for every chance I could to cancel Mercy reses. Got her, got her, got her, got her, got her. Nice, Sig. Watch rock. Nice. Break bubble if she gets it. Nice.
Ooh, I got it.
Got her. My time on Doomfist ended up helping me with this, as they're very similar. Valuing her javelin like a stun similar to Doomfist punch instead of a damage dealer brought me to the next level.
Yo.
Oh my god, oh my god. And finally, cooldown cycling, which will take the most time to master for most players. As a general rule, put emphasis on only using one cooldown at a time. Every time you catch yourself using 2 or all 3 of your abilities, ask yourself, could one ability have gotten the same value? This was by far one of my favorite days of coaching I had done so far in the series, and hitting my peak of 406 to end the day was the icing on the cake. Chat, we hit a new peak, let's go. Day 4. After sleeping on the knowledge that I had gained from my coaching day, my brain was open to new ideas. Instead of thinking of her abilities as only good for defense, I started finding more and more ways to squeeze value out of them. Let's start with her ultimate, which I haven't really discussed up until now. Most people think of it as a one-shot and hold it for way too long. Instead, think of it as an area of effect burst damage that can set up your team or create chaos.
Watch behind, look behind. We nano their Mercy, that's actually insane.
It's better to quickly hit 3 to 4 enemies for 100 damage than it is to save for a one-shot and they just get away. Also, the longer that you're in your ult, the longer your team is without a tank. It can also shut down other ultimates, for example, Wrecking Ball's mines. So chat, I did that to clear mines. Or to pull a nanoed Genji blade off of your team. For your blade, use your ultimate after he's dashed, or else he'll just dash out of it. While your spin seems good for movement speed, it should also be used to eat and displace ultimates.
Get the fuck off my team.
Most people forget that it can eat abilities, just like Diva's defense matrix.
I ate her ult.
We discussed her javelin on day 3. Keep it simple and save it to shut down abilities or secure eliminations. Don't just throw it for empty damage.
God, that was disgusting.
Finally, your most crucial cooldown is Fortify. Like Junker Queen's shout, you are nothing without Fortify, so use it wisely. Most people know that it reduces damage, but that's just the start of it. It also stops all forms of crowd control, being one of the few abilities in the game that renders Ana's sleep dart useless. How you use Fortify heavily relies on the enemy hero picks. If they have Doomfist, I save it for his punch. If they have Reinhardt, I save it for his shatter. Zarya, you can walk out of her grav. Ana, you can freely dive her with no chance of being slept. It can even save you from Mei's ultimate. Oh yeah, and it also improves your gun's overheat time. Day 5. I logged in to find out that we had finally lost our standing in the top 500. However, starting day 1 at Plat 1, we surpassed our goal of hitting Diamond, peaking on our 4th day at Diamond 1. In a mere 4 weeks, I had gone from placing Gold 1 as a DPS learning my first tank Diva, to a few matches off of Masters. Unfortunately, the final day of learning Orisa, I would not hit that goal of master. It would be my first day going negative, ending the day in high diamond 2, which I was still incredibly proud of. People like to hate on Orisa for being boring, but let me tell you, it was a nice feeling playing tank and not getting counterpicked every single time I popped off, like on Diva, Doomfist, or Junker Queen. That's not saying that people didn't try, so let me share the sauce on handling some of her quote-unquote counters. Starting with tank, typically to beat Orisa, you have to be the better Orisa, or play a dive tank such as Winston, completely ignoring her and going for her backline. I am the better Orisa! Here's some advice from my coach Dakad on how to handle dive teams.
You want to be careful on not over push DPSs. Okay. Like chase them super hard. So the primary objective is more or less to just protect your team, and then it is to deal with DPSs. Genji and like Sombra Tracer and characters like that is difficult to chase. So right now, for example, on team is sitting against that. Oh, nice.
As a Tracer main, I can confirm that it's tough to get solo kills if your Winston is getting denied. As a dive DPS, you heavily rely on the space that your tank provides. Zarya is also viewed as a counter, as Orisa cannot block any of her beam damage. However, this heavily hinges on Zarya having good bubble usage. She ain't getting out of here. You ain't going nowhere. And your ult is secretly very good against her. Count her bubbles. If she uses 2 in a row, quickly start your ultimate when the second bubble is active. She has no mobility or bubble to save herself from the one shot by the time that it goes away. For DPS, most people's go-to is Bastion or Reaper. My coach Dakad really simplified the Reaper matchup for me.
Whenever the Reaper goes on you, just instantly shift. Yeah, because it doesn't get enough healing to sustain a fight. And he has to be forced to shift out most of the time.
Of all the heroes that were picked against me, Bastion was the most common, and I won't lie, probably the easiest to beat. Well, as long as he doesn't have a support pocket, that is. I stuck to a plan when it came to beating Bastion. First of all, look to avoid committing when he has turret form. If he is in it and you can't run away, first try to javelin him out of LOS of your team, as he's slow and he won't be able to easily repeak. If that doesn't work, you can use your spin to eat his damage and displace him, then immediately fortify as the spin ends if he's still in turret form. Zen is probably the most brutal counter, as Discord will punish you if you aren't perfect with your cooldowns. The best advice I can give you is to always play cover and prioritize shooting him whenever possible. He has a massive hitbox for both your primary fire and javelin. So, is Orisa the most boring tank in Overwatch 2? After playing her for 20 hours, I would say yes, but she's a necessary evil. She keeps other tanks in check at the cost of solo kill potential. Sometimes that's what your team needs. She feels really boring to play because it's hard to make flashy plays with her. But in reality, your job as tank isn't to make flashy plays or kill the whole enemy team. It's to create space for your team to operate and deny the enemy tank from taking space on your team. And this is why she feels so boring to play against. She's very good at denying space from the enemy tank. She's a skill check. If you make the mistake of always shooting tank, she will beat you. Orisa forces you and your team to work together and think instead of playing solo and trying to beat her with counter swaps. And for that reason, I personally like that Orisa exists. Heroes that make people think are good for the game. What's the point of having roles if all the roles do the same thing or have the same job? So with her being so boring, will I play Orisa more in the future? Absolutely. Orisa is just another puzzle piece to fit into my arsenal of tanks on my road to Grandmaster. I'll start every game with either Doomfist or Junker Queen, depending on if it's a flat or a high ground map. Then if I need to deny abilities or spam, I'll go Diva. If the key to winning the match is denying space or shutting down an enemy tank, I'll go Orisa. The reality of tank is that it's supportive in nature, and that's why being open to swapping to what your team needs is so important. The idea of rock, paper, scissors on tank doesn't suit everyone, but that's the reality of Overwatch compared to other ability shooters. What's the point of having a game with so many hero options and mid-game swaps if all you do is play that one comfort pick and then get mad when it doesn't work? If you refuse to learn multiple tanks or play what your team needs, you won't rank up. It's that simple. I really appreciate all the support. The series has been blowing up, and as long as you enjoy it, I'll keep going. I'm a few weeks behind as I did have to hire a new editor as my old one accepted an internship into his dream career. We all wish the best for him. So far, I've finished 20 hours on Alari, Ashe, Bastion, Cassidy, and Echo. I'll be posting those videos in the coming weeks. This week we decided to skip to Sombra to do 20 hours on her new rework. I'm a Master's Peak Sombra, so it'll be really cool to learn her new playstyle. I'll post that one next week as she's the focus of the community right now. I do all of these 20-hour challenges live on stream, so you should drop by and let me know what hero you're excited to see me learn next.